from SCNR. Must watch. Rep. Matt Gaetz confronts and mocks ousted former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. If you took that stage, you would get booed off of it, Gaetz said. This is actually kind of amazing. Now, some of you may say, Tim, this is crass. We don't need Matt Gaetz confronting McCarthy and engaging in these things.
We need this.
I say false. I tell you this. What we are witnessing with Matt Gaetz confronting the old guard is that younger people are pushing back. We are taking the reins of power. Many of these young people were inspired by the likes of Ron Paul and this real America First message about sound currency, no foreign wars, and our own individual autonomy. And the machine wants to cut backroom deals, treat you like a sheep, and operate in darkness. And Matt Gaetz standing up, it's not about one guy and two guys. It's not about whether you like Matt Gaetz or don't like Kevin McCarthy or vice versa. It's about the contention at the convention from the new guard and the old guard because we are taking over.
It's interesting. I mean, in some ways, I actually do wish Kevin McCarthy was speaking on stage. And I'll tell you, it's largely because, do you remember the iconic Ted Cruz vote your conscience moment? I mean, that happened at a Republican National Convention in 2016. And I think there is this level of people want to hear how the old guard is reacting right now. They want to know, in the wake of everything that's happened with Trump, not just, of course, his assassination attempt, but also the way he's been treated by the judicial system and the dropping of his cases and, just everything that is going into the campaign right now. I think there is a sense of tension among voters, and it's interesting to see it play out on the floor between two people who very obviously had tension. I mean, it's almost less believable when politicians all line up and say, like, we were screaming at each other a couple months ago, but let's just shake hands. We're all on the same sides now.
Can we play the clip?
Let's get it.
What night are you speaking? Are you speaking tonight? Hey, you're not. If you took that stage, you would get booed off of it.
That's right, he would.
Booed off the
I'd
stage.
Do we also have the CNN angle?
That's a proud Florida man right there. Shouts out to Matt Gaetz. He's a badass, and absolute respect for him.
Do we also have the other angle? Because he's actually interrupting while, so
one who's not coming back.
Oh, it's on the feed.
And then the other part that you have, the person who raised the issue, he's got an ethics complaint about sleeping with a 17-year-old.
So wow.
So that's great. Yeah, that's the bomb.
You mean to tell me that Matt Gaetz interrupted CNN and McCarthy? Wow, I'm extra happy now.
So I'm conflicted because obviously this is really funny to see, and you always love seeing politicians go at each other's throats. And obviously these two have a lot of history. Matt Gaetz was part of the few congressmen that helped oust McCarthy as Speaker. That led it, and now McCarthy was going on his tour, is funding opponents to all the congresspeople who followed suit, as well as Matt Gaetz. He's also running ads in Matt Gaetz's district about his alleged affair with the 17-year-old. And when you really think about it, though, it saddens me because at the end of the day, how substantially different are these two politicians' policies and in reality compared to the Democrats? We could have that larger conversation with their attempts to oust McCarthy to begin with. How different is he than Johnson is now? Not very. And it's clear that this is more petty beef than substantial political debate.
Petty beef does seem like it follows Kevin McCarthy a little bit, though. I mean, we had Representative Tim Burchett on the show the other night, and he got elbow checked by, or shoulder checked by Kevin McCarthy in the halls, and Kevin McCarthy was like, "Oh, we maybe bumped into each other." It is weird to see these things again, because so often you get politicians who are polished and they're saying, "Oh, we shake hands, we make deals," and the reality is a lot of them don't like each other. And I think there is the reality TV show aspect of that American voters do want to see. We know sometimes you're faking it, and maybe you should just be honest. There is honesty in this moment that Kevin McCarthy is saying something kind of brutal about Matt Gaetz, and because we're at convention, Matt Gaetz is right there to be like, you can't talk that way about me on live TV. That's fascinating.
Great timing, too. Fortuitous timing. He must have ran over there. Someone said, he's live right now. Get over there now.
Maybe. I don't know.
Matt Gaetz does not like hearing about what McCarthy has to say here and those ads that he's running against
what McCarthy has accused him of. Right?
What?
Being with underage girls.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, this is the most contentious relationship you can have, possibly, if you being accused of pedophilia.
Well, I'm sorry. I think McCarthy is full of it because Matt Gaetz says Kevin McCarthy was cutting backroom deals and getting IOUs, and this is the corrupt machine of the Speaker of the House. And then Kevin McCarthy goes, oh, yeah, well, you slept with a 17-year-old. And it's like, oh, wait. That's not a political argument. That's salacious gossip garbage meant to destroy someone's credibility. Mm-hmm. Matt Gaetz has made a political argument against you and the system you represent, and you responded with garbage.
It reminds me of, I think, Mitt Romney pretty recently was like, well, I would never vote for Trump because, he has been convicted of a sexual crime or something like that when he's referring to this E. Jean Carroll case, which we know was so ridiculous on its front. I mean, there is this weird, mudslinging, I'm holier than thou moment among all of these people. Sometimes we have to see the conflict. Sorry, Elad.
No, I mean, I think the issue here is how substantially different is McCarthy than Johnson anyway? And, all the pain and time wasted by a House that was a majority Republicans because of a petty beef between these two guys. McCarthy and Johnson are one and the same as far as House speakers.
But
they have the same policies.
And that doesn't matter. What matters is that Kevin McCarthy, in order to become Speaker, was cutting these deals with lobbyists. This is how Matt Gaetz explains it to us. In order to be Speaker, you need to raise a bunch of money. You need to pony up to the NRCC to be able to get these leadership positions. And so he effectively cuts $1 billion in IOUs. And when he got voted out, that destroyed this process of backroom deals. Johnson is no good. Fine. Whatever. It's still funny to watch them squirm.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the argument is. McCarthy and Johnson are one and the same, and all they did is waste time in Congress. And then it's also Republican on Republican money.
And my argument is quite literally that's not true.
Oh, no. I mean, No, I think they are more or less the same. Johnson...
Hold on, I think you're misunderstanding. Yes, Johnson is not a good Speaker of the House. Kevin McCarthy was not a good Speaker of the House. Kevin McCarthy was running the congressional campaign BS machine, and he just had to eat those IOUs. This is pain for the system. It's pain for the lobbyists, and the backroom deals just blew up in their faces. Now, Johnson gets in, he can do whatever he wants, but Kevin McCarthy just had the machine collapse on him. And so that's it. That's what we got. I don't think the goal of ousting Kevin McCarthy, or I should say this, that's not the right way to say it. I don't think that we should just be entirely upset that Johnson's no good. We say when they were seeking to remove McCarthy, it was a rebuke of the machine in the system, and that's the minimum of what we got. We wished for more. We wished for a Jim Jordan or someone better. We didn't get it, but we accept that we just took action against this corrupt political machine, and they felt the pain of the deals they were brokering.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's I get what you're saying. It seemed like this was a fight, and how different are these two people in terms of the way they vote. I wonder too, to what Tim was saying before, if we're having a changing of the guards, if we're having some sort of change within the Republican identity of the party, if these battles are sort of necessary, it's not going to be like one day everyone is replaced all at once. It's sort of a back and forth push until ultimately the party is like a darker red, let's say, or more to whatever they're sort of circling around becoming.
Yeah, but don't we know it's a uniparty? So I mean, isn't that just on?
It's interesting though, right? Like if it is a uniparty, then wouldn't you want to see people pushing farther apart as opposed to coming closer together in terms of policy and ideals?
Well, I just want to see the next generation take the reins and push against the corruption. Mm-hmm. McCarthy represents all of these problems. He's not as bad as Nancy Pelosi, but he's part of the same club. And Matt Gaetz putting pressure on him and leading the charge to get him removed as Speaker was glorious to watch. It was the right thing to do. It doesn't mean we get a good Speaker. It means that this disgusting lobby machine of D.C., which has plagued our politics for so long, got a whip crack, and $1 billion in IOUs just went up in flames.
I wonder what that repercussions of that are. He's
reeling.
Yeah, I mean, there were promises made, clearly, allegedly, and now he will not be able to fulfill on them.
And we got that with Hillary Clinton losing, too.
Yep,
because in 2016, she's cutting these deals like you donate to my PACs, to my campaign, you hire me for these speaking deals. Before she ran, she was speaking for Goldman Sachs or something, and then she loses, and then what do we see? The Clinton Global Initiative or the Clinton Foundation starts slowing down and drying up.
They have to shut it down, but they had record donations when she was running for the presidency of the United States, just showing you just how absolutely corrupt our entire political system is. And there's few brave people like Matt Gaetz that are willing to call it out in real time. There was so much money, there was so much lobbyists, there were so many special interest groups that were just screwed over, and it's beautiful to see, and I love it.
Didn't the Clinton Foundation get $400 million in Haiti relief? And
Exactly. No, I interviewed local Haitians, and they described in great detail how they were just robbed by the Clintons, and they were just screwed over during one of the most difficult times that they had to go through after going through a major hurricane that leveled and destroyed all of Haiti, which added to the destruction, as of course Hillary Clinton was actually giving her brother contract deals to the natural resources and minerals of Haiti, as of course they were literally looting that country for their own personal benefit. And there are plutocrats that are looting the American country for their own benefit. And at least them just being paused for a little bit, Matt Gaetz standing and saying this system is corrupt, that right there was poetic. And even though it was temporary, it was still beautiful to see.
Yeah.
I'm watching the clip. Someone made a supercut of filming Alex interrupt Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks.
So you had a busy day today.
I know, and I got kicked out of the RNC all for confronting him. So whose side is the RNC on? The Pimp on a Blimp or the Young Turks?
I think the interesting thing is
Pretty mild.
Yeah, like this is a problem the RNC has. RNC right now has a couple problems, but I'm watching this video, and I'll try and be as fair as I can. Alex, I know Cenk was on the air with someone or doing something.
Of course, that's why I did it. I knew he was on the air during Piers Morgan. Yeah,
I think it's also reasonable when you watch this. There's actually it's not actually that easy to know what he's doing. It's a problem with a lot of these conventions where there's booths and and you're just like, I don't know if they're live or not live or sitting there or what.
Well, I did know, but
I know you knew. What I'm saying is the way it looks. He could have been doing a sound check or a sound test, and you were just trying to goof off and be nice to a guy or something, like just be silly, and you didn't realize. My point is, the way they do these events, they're not structured very well for. Well, I'll put it this way: the reason why we ended up doing the pre-record with Rep. Boebert is because we're outside of the perimeter in a separate location. The RNC is happening in literally every corner of the RNC, but there's no way we could do a 2-hour long.
No, without getting interrupted. No way.
Yeah. And it's not even by people like you who are trying to be goofballs. It's by people.
A fan, just
walking up and being like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And then standing in front of the camera. Like, how are you supposed to have a coherent media presence for culture in these spaces? And I'm not saying it's their fault. It is an issue that they're having.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.